You need to know
this is who I am.
Where it began.
Vryheid was
so that you
originally
can
white.
continue forward.
My aim in life is to help. God has a plan for everyone.
Hi, I'm Zianda.
And I'm Yonela.
Joanne's story is one that led her to a crossroads in her life.
I-choices zakhe zimlethe la eVryheid. La ufike wathola ukuthi izinto zitshintshile kunale ndlela bezijwayele.
This is our story.
I grew up in Durban in a place called Phoenix. It's an Indian place, Indian suburb. And I went to an Indian school and there wasn't much racial interaction. My father was very, very, very strict. We were not allowed to go anywhere at all. My sister and my brother and I stayed at home. We watched TV and we went to sleep. That was it. There was a very, very important role model in my life, and this was my grandmother. She instilled things in my life that I will never forget, and she was such a pillar in my life. She started with nothing. She ended up being the greatest lover of Jesus. She loved him and loves him until the day she died. And she, to me, was an inspiration through my trials and tribulations, and I've had many. It was that voice inside me, I think, that she put there that said, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm really, really grateful that she was in my life. I grew up in an Indian school. We didn't interact with any other culture until the year I was almost finished. And then black children were allowed to come into our school. My first marriage was a disaster. In my experience with the Indian community in Durban, this might not be with everybody, but with myself. When you marry a man, you marry his family. And that's what happened. I had to live with them, and their upbringing and mine was totally, totally different. What my mother and father taught me was not what his parents taught him. And I wasn't one to complain, so I put up with it for a while. I was totally miserable. It was horrible. And then, by then, my brother moved here to Vryheid. And when he came home the one day, he said to me, "Why don't you visit us for a while?" And when before I could leave, I said to the person, I said to him, "I'm going." And he was just all too happy that we went. So I don't think he was very happy either. The problem was that he wasn't ready for marriage, and he wasn't committed to me in any way. He was not committed to the baby that we had, and he was not willing to work. When I moved to Vryheid, I worked in a pharmacy for a while, and while I was here, I filed for a divorce. In the meantime, I made more mistakes, and I had a daughter. She's not a mistake, but she was a product of a mistake. I met a man that was an alcoholic, and he physically abused me. And I stayed with him for quite a number of years, thinking that he would change, and also thinking that this was the person. And he wasn't. He abused me to an extent where it was unbearable. But I still stayed with it because I'm a stubborn person. And I thought that by staying with him, he would change, and he didn't. I didn't have much education, but I was really led along the way. While I stayed here in Vryheid, I worked in a pharmacy. At that specific pharmacy, there wasn't much scope. And then in 2004, I started work at Pasteur, where my career started. I was given opportunity by my boss, Mrs. Vinka, that enabled me to pursue a career and to actually be in the place where I am in a profession. I'm a healthcare professional. She paid for my studies, and she empowered me to be in a position where I can and I'm able to hold and stand my ground and help people.
I believe in the fact that everyone has to take responsibility and accountability, and if you give them that, they flourish. What has happened in the town is that people, I believe, that we are here with a purpose in the town of Vryheid to bring the word freedom. And honestly, I find that the people and the people of the town have integrated by such an extent, it's almost unexplainable in words. We don't see race. Honestly, the way I see it and experience it is that we are representing a real freedom community.
Well, for everybody, you must know where you come from to know where you're going to.
All of us are brought up differently. And it also brings a new attitude towards life, depending on your cultural aspects too. So if you know where you're coming from and where you're going to, which is very important.
When you grow up into a home, you have no choice. You follow what your family teaches you. As you grow, you begin to question. You question things around you. But all of us believe in our roots. What our parents taught us, that's what we end up going back to, all of us.
So your culture can determine what you become at the end too. So, and if your parents teach you your culture correctly, I think it can only but give you a push in life. Especially with the different cultures we've got nowadays. Technically, you guys home, you guys got Indian, coloured, and Christianity in your home. So it brings a different aspect to your whole home because you've got a different type of culture coming into your home.
We don't have a choice into which family we're raised in. We don't have a choice in which culture we brought up in. And as we stray, when we grow older, it's still there. Your culture, your ways, your upbringing will always be there. I finally met the man that was meant for me, and the man that makes me happy, and the man of my dreams, and this is that man.
If we look back, we were supposed to be together from the beginning.
My husband is such an honorable man to, I wouldn't say put up, but bear all my pain.
I feel that I wouldn't be able to do without my wife. She's really, she's like one of my main organs.
He would never lay a finger on me. He would never hurt me.
2 years that we are together, it's like a whole new, different life. There's so many new things in life that she's taught me, and so many more values she's put back into my life.
The little things that he does. He cares for for Hannah and Jeremy as if they were his own. He treats them as if they're his. He scolds them as if they belong to him. And I think that is very rare. He's really a diamond that I found in the desert. And I really thank the Lord, God Almighty, that He brought this person into our lives to give us such happiness. God has a plan for every one of us. We will reach the place that we're supposed to be at. We will reach our destination. We will be with the one we were meant to be with. I strongly believe that. My children are not mistakes. The past is a result of decisions made. God allows us to have free will. He gave us free will. So He allows us to make our own decisions. And when we make our own decisions, we actually are the authors of our own lives. But at the end of the day, He's still there to help us through this life that we've written for ourselves. He's still there to change a bad situation and make it a blessing.
Thank you for watching African Identities.
Until next time.
Bye.